Updated December 2, 2017 165,855 On a wintry Sunday in 1975, around the stroke of midnight, Shirley Finn was shot 4 times in the head. Her body found the next morning slumped over the wheel of her white Dodge Phoenix at the Royal Perth Golf Course. It was immediately clear the well-known brothel madam had been murdered, yet decades later, that remains one of the only known facts surrounding the case. The mother of 3 was facing a $100,000 tax debt and was killed 2 days before a hearing on the matter, where she had been threatening to blow the whistle on illicit dealings by politicians, businessmen and police. Despite 2 cold case reviews, the execution-style killing has never been solved. An inquest into her murder, led by coroner Barry King, has this week heard from 7 witnesses, all relying on recollections of events that occurred 42 years ago. In total, 30 witnesses have appeared at the inquest so far, yet their evidence has raised more questions than it has answered, slowly revealing just how little is known about that fateful night in June 1975. Parties with Elton and meetings with the Barms. Finn lived on Swanview Street in South Perth with her girlfriend Rose Black and 12-year-old daughter Bridget Shewring. The house was Ms. Finn's mansion and she adored it. The court heard she would often host large parties, once welcoming legendary singer Elton John through her doors. Ms. Black and Ms. Shewring both told the court that on June 22, 1975, the Sunday night before Ms. Finn's body was found, they had a barbecue at home. Ms. Shewring said her mother asked her to have an early night, so she went to bed around 9:20 p.m. Ms. Black said her lover had asked her to leave the house that night because she was going to meet a person called the Bear, who had arranged for someone from Sydney to come over and fix her tax debt. She told the court the Bear was the same person her girlfriend would meet once a month. She believed Ms. Finn was paying him a fee in return for operating her brothel. A previous witness, convicted race fixer Robert Myers, told the court Bernie Johnson, the fearsome head of the police vice squad in 1975, was known as BJ the Bear. Ms. Black said she later considered that Bernie Johnson and the Bear were one and the same, but could not be sure. On that Sunday night, she said she found Ms. Finn crying while getting ready. The taxation bill was huge, and it put her under a lot of pressure and stress, she told the court. She was nervous and didn't feel good about the whole meeting. I think at the last moment she wanted to back out. Ms. Black told the court she offered to accompany Ms. Finn, even to hide in the boot of her car, but could not because it had 2 garbage bags of money in it, meant as payment for making the tax problem disappear. She explained how she left the house around 8:00 p.m. and went to a friend's apartment, where she was told to expect a call from Ms. Finn. Shirley said, "Hold tight and I'll come and get you when it's over," Ms. Black said. Who saw what? A post-mortem found Ms. Finn died about midnight, yet the details leading up to that remain largely unknown. At 9:40 p.m., Ms. Finn's neighbor's daughter Loretta Jackson saw the brothel madam leaving her house. She told the inquest Ms. Finn was wearing a lovely ball gown, walking down the drive fiddling in her evening purse, as if looking for keys. However, no bag or purse was found at the murder scene. Ms. Jackson said police later pushed her to change her story so it did not include the bag, which was found at the house in South Perth the next morning. Later that night, a number of witnesses placed Ms. Finn's iconic car at the golf course in South Perth, the same place her body was found. Steve Kuako told the court he saw a police van parked next to a white Dodge with a woman inside at about 10 p.m. However, another witness, former motorcycle officer Brian Eddy, placed her in East Perth. He said he saw Ms. Finn at the police canteen around 11:30 p.m. in the company of Detective Johnson, although he did admit in court it could have been the night before. Yet another witness put Ms. Finn kilometers away from the golf course at exactly the same time. Former security officer Peter Burns told the court he saw her at the University of Western Australia's Crawley campus at 11:30 p.m. He said he believed he was the last person to see Ms. Finn alive parked up in her white Dodge with its distinctive black roof. However, Edward and Elaine Mosley told the court they saw the white Dodge back at the golf course sometime between 11:30 p.m. and midnight. Mr. Mosley said it had its headlights on and its doors wide open. The couple also said they saw 2 people near the Dodge, one of them a woman who matched Ms. Black's description. Rose Black's story: Ms. Black was paraded in front of the couple at the police station after the murder, but Mr. and Mrs. Mosley said they could not be sure it was the same woman they had seen at the golf course. Police also conducted a ballistic test to see if Ms. Black had shot a firearm and tested some of her clothes. One outfit was found to have blood which matched both her and Ms. Finn's blood type. Ms. Black did not provide any explanation for the stains. Lawyers pushed Ms. Black on why Ms. Finn would ask her to leave the house that night, as it had meant leaving her 12-year-old daughter home alone. She was asked why she had checked into a hotel on Hay Street after leaving her friend's place around midnight. The court also heard the friend Ms. Black said she had gone to see had written a statement saying she had not been home that night. Ms. Shuring has long believed her mother's ex-girlfriend has been hiding something. She left court after Ms. Black's long-awaited testimony, clearly upset and disappointed by the lack of detail in her evidence. For her part, Ms. Black told the court she had lived in fear for decades, afraid that what happened to Ms. Finn could happen to her. The fear of retribution fear has become a common theme among many witnesses at the inquest, some clearly trepidatious about openly talking of the time in 1975, and others spilling all after decades of silence. Perth was certainly a different place back then, full of illegal gambling joints, prostitution, dodgy race-fixing and wild parties. The court has heard numerous reports of police corruption, including that Detective Johnson was running the town, taking payment from brothels and gambling venues in return for protection and tip-offs to raids. Mr. Johnson, who now has dementia and lives in a nursing home south of Perth, has been linked by numerous witnesses to Ms. Finn's murder. On Thursday, the brothel Madam's dressmaker Glenn Propper-John described the detective as ruthless and bombastic, admitting he was still fearful to talk about him. Mr. Myers, the horse trainer who knew the detective as BJ the Bear, told the court he had no doubt the detective shot Ms. Finn, describing him as a crim with a badge and a very violent man. For now, the search for answers is on pause. The inquest is not due to resume until December 12, when another 10 or more witnesses are due to give testimony. When the inquest began in August, Coroner Barry King indicated it was likely proceedings would run into next year. A new year, full of new, and old, questions that remain unanswered. Topics: murder and manslaughter, law, crime and justice, courts and trials, corruption, Perth 6000, WA first posted December 2, 2017 111,631.